So my mother went to Middlebury and was an English major, and she started her radical ways early by leading the move to abolish sororities at Middlebury. There were some people who were a little suspicious of her motives. She graduated a junior Phi Beta Kappa, and then she got a scholarship to Mills. And at this point, she had never been further away from Vermont than Cape Cod, and she took the long train ride by herself across the country to go to the wild lands of California. And she described that she had been wanting very much to get into interesting conversations with people along the way, but everybody was reading Gone with the Wind, which had just been published. So she got her master's. She wrote her thesis on the metrics of Sidney Lanier. She got her master's degree, and then her first teaching job at a public school at Lake Winnipesaukee. She was always adventurous, and in 1939 chose to go on a bicycling trip in the Black Forest of Germany. And she ended up, we've grown up with these stories, but she ended up being among the last Americans getting out of there before the war broke out. So we've always heard about that. She taught at Emma Willard, the private school where she was teaching, when she went to a summer program in international relations at Wellesley, and she met this young man named Armstead Lee, who already had a job in the Foreign Service, and that's where they met. So I won't go through, I'm sure many of you know the stories of her long life as a Foreign Service wife, where she had to get us started in new schools, deal with offensive and arrogant ambassadors' wives. But also, together we discovered new countries and new cultures, and we got a lot from that experience. And then in later years, when my father retired in Washington, she was able to return to her beloved teaching. They didn't let wives have any jobs in those days in the Foreign Service. So she was able to get back to teaching, where she taught English at the Washington School of Ballet in later years. On behalf of her, on this birthday, it's just wonderful to be able to let her know how much she means to us. And on behalf of her children, I want to thank her for taking such good care of us. As a small child, being sick or frightened, my mother could be the most comforting and reassuring person in the world. And I think that experience leaves you as you grow up as an adult with some sense of safeness, and that things are going to be okay, which I think was my mother's greatest gift to the three of us. I thank her for her sense of humor and her disgust at snobbery and pretension. Related to that, I thank her for the strong democratic values that she passed on to us, and the honesty and openness we always had in our family. We had no dark secrets, and my mother was responsible for that in her frankness and fairness. I thank her for the love of language and literature that she gave us, and the importance of family, and that's why this is the perfect thing for her birthday. A family story she always taught us, family history, big and small, the importance of community, and Vermont, which has been like this sort of sacred place for us and our family in it. And thank you for being here. So now we can eat some more.
I think you're still mic'd up.
Yeah.